Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound. Journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.
Welcome to Meta Mysteries, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today is Wonder Wednesday, baby. And you know how we get. We got to get a little weird up in here. Welcome in for the first few people are here. Kara and Kyle. What it do? Nice to see y'all.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. So I'm
always
sure
the first one's in. I love it.
always, yes. If you ain't first, you're last, you know?
Well, I mean, you could be second. But
you could
anyway.
be second, I guess.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we got a fun topic today. We're going to be getting into this is actually a suggestion by one of the listeners out there in Meta World, and one of the one. So that means probably you, Sean.
Yep,
But
that was me.
but there was somebody that was asking about what do we think about pet communication or just animal communication once they pass on. And I was like, I believe in it, but I would like to prove how it could be and how it is real. So, I mean, I'm not going to say how it is real. I don't know, but I pulled up a
Just
bunch.
explore.
Just to explore a little bit, and I got a couple of websites that we're going to be visiting from actual pet communicators, and also what the science says behind it and what history says behind it, what various religions have said about it and stuff like that. Because my thing is that if it's so fake, how could it have been talked about for thousands of years? You know what I mean?
I guess it's like anything else too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that have been talked about for so long, and it comes down to just what do you think about it? I don't think it's up to anybody to convince anyone else of what's real and what's not. I don't think that's the point, but I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, what really bothers me, and we just had this, we had a cult live yesterday, and some people say that animals don't have souls. And I'm like, how could you say that?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense, because in my mind, like anybody that's ever had a dog or a bird or a cat or maybe an iguana or a horse or whatever, you feel that there is some kind of like soul level bond going on right there. Like, and I know the argument that Jacob made yesterday was that, that's the reason why you have such a deep connection with your dog, for instance, is because that's how that's how it was. They built it up that way. That literally that man and dog have shared a bond for hundreds of years and possibly thousands of years, and that bond has almost been interwoven within the DNA of the animal and you, and it gets
human experience.
Yeah, it gets kind of weird.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, dogs aren't the only one that you feel like you can have that soul bond with. I hear people talking about their bonds with their horses, or I mean, you name it. Everybody that has ever had an animal, you probably felt somewhat close to them in some way. Like, I got turtles, right? I'm not sitting here saying that I communicate with turtles by any means, but I did mushrooms a time or two. I felt like I did.
There was some communication happening for sure, dude.
Yeah. So we're going to be getting into that. The loving spirits never went away, whether it be animal, human, or guide. They just changed form. Now, a lot of this is going to be paralleled with any soul that has died or gone over to the other side. And a lot of it is overlapping with animals, obviously, because if animals are souls, animals are spirits, then why would they be treated any differently?
Right. Yeah. The question I have as far as like when we get into the whole soul conversation is, where are all the new souls coming from? Is it just like this, if you want to take it the Neoplatonism route, and there's just an infinite amount of light and energy and soul producing capabilities, we can talk about that. But as far as like your animal, the soul of your animal going somewhere and then sticking around, and then I don't know. I start to think about that, and I'm like, I just don't know what's going on with that, man.
Well, the question would be, why would the animals have it any different than us? That's
Right.
the real question.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
if you look at and this applies, like a lot of our philosophy of what we've really learned to take on has been that there is no separation, and that separation is an illusion. Now, if you want to apply pantheism or Neoplatonism or whatever your variety of that is that shows you that you are not separate from anything else,
Mhm.
well, then, and if you take that and you say, all right, well, I'm a part of this matrix, this simulation, this illusion, whatever kind of program is going on here, then everything, not only everyone, but everything else would also be incorporated into that. Wouldn't you
Right.
say?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so
I'm with you.
animals would have to be a part of that. Just, I mean, and even
Mhm.
to get weirder, inanimate objects probably too. But
Yep.
it's just
Yeah,
all
man.
part of the coding at that point.
Mhm. Yeah, I hear you.
So, you think they've gone, slipped into some unreachable place beyond the living world. But what if I told you that they never really left? The animal that once looked into your eyes, the creature that you shared space, breath, and trust with, it may still be there. Not as fur and flesh per se, but as a presence, a guide, a quiet shadow walking alongside you. God, I love that. Ancient traditions whisper it, modern experiences confirm it, and if the bond ran deep, they may be closer now than they ever were before, waiting for you to notice, to listen, or to remember. So today we're going to peel back the veil and explore how your animal spirits, whether wild allies or cherished companions, might still roam the unseen, and how you can meet them there. So, we're going to get real weird. So humans
Love it.
see only a tiny sliver of reality. We've talked about this. As
Mhm.
far as even the light spectrum, are certain mechanics and faculties that we have at our dispense to be able to sense our, the nature of our reality. Very, very limited though.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like we can only see, what is it, like 0.03 or 0.01%
I
of
thought
the
it was
light
like
spectrum.
0.1 or 0.01. Yeah, something like that.
Dude, it is literally a sliver. It's basically nothing, is
The
what we can
tiniest
see.
of slivers.
And that's why the whole DMT-X conversation, along with Rick Strassman's work with the spirit molecule. Damn, I don't know where I just pulled that one out of. But that kind of work is so profound because it showed that you're not creating an illusion in your mind whenever you take psychedelics, specifically DMT, but actually, and this is something that I just recently saw too, that whenever they hooked up nodes to somebody's head, right, and they're trying to figure out, like, all right, when are your eyes open and when are your eyes closed? This is
Okay.
crazy, okay?
All right.
So when if you're not, on any kind of psychedelic or anything, right?
It's the baseline.
When you're not on any kind of psychedelic, your brain shows patterns that shows that when your eyes are open versus when your eyes are closed. You can literally see that fluctuation in your
Okay.
brain, okay?
Okay. Mhm.
However, when somebody's on DMT and they have those same nodes on their brain, even when their eyes are closed, they are giving the reading as if they are open.
Right. And see, this is actually interesting because I was watching somebody. He's one of those, I forget his name, dude, but he's one of those heavy hitters when it comes to like the DMT talk and all of that. And he was talking about the fact that it's not so much that your reality fluidly changes and it's kind of like an overlay of what is already existing around you. It's more so that your reality around you completely changes. You don't have any residual of what your reality or what your reality to be. It's almost like an entirely different world. And
Yeah.
so with what you're saying, that kind of tracks,
Oh yeah, I believe that.
regardless if your eyes are open or not.
I think so, and that's the thing, is that a lot of people they talk about seeing the same kind of thing. Now, entities will vary. Some people don't see any entities. Some people see a lot of entities anytime they go into that realm. But the place seems to be, pretty similar whenever you describe it to other people. And as far as like what you're seeing, there's certain colors, the makeup of the place, how familiar it feels, even though you know that you've never seen it. not
Right.
with your human eyes or anything like that. So
Mhm.
we're
Yeah,
talking
and
about
when we were talking to Danny Goller about it, and I was trying to ask him, like, was there any, or maybe I was talking to Adam Butler actually, and I was asking him, like, was there any kind of correlation with your state of mind going into that experience? And he said, I was kind of hoping to see something like that, but he said there was really no, like, depending on what kind of state of mind he was in, it didn't really dictate the experience that he had.
Yeah.
And so then now what are we talking about? If
yeah.
it isn't just your subconscious kind of directing the ship, if you will.
Dude, it's a wild place to be. So we say all of that just to show that what we see is actually almost nothing compared to everything that's out there. We're talking about
Yep.
dimensional overlays, different parallel universes that could be stacked up on top of us. That even with the DMTX studies, it showed that what we see in this reality literally is a tiny sliver of the whole. And I'm not
Right.
saying that what you see in the DMT world gives you access to all dimensions and all parallel realities, but it definitely gives you an idea about, what some of them might look like, I think.
Right. Yeah, and I think we experience, even without DMT, I feel like we experience glimpses of that, whether it's deja vu or some type of dream that's giving you some information, whatever it is. There's so many different mystical experiences that you have, and I feel like that is just giving us a glimpse of what's possible, what is already here all the time, and we just don't see it.
Right. So we're going to dive a little bit into that. Humans see only a tiny sliver of reality, a narrow band of wavelengths our eyes call visible, while radio, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, and more roar around us. If energy is conserved, nothing truly vanishes. It changes phases. So when a body dies, what happens to the pattern, the information, the consciousness, the intention? Tonight, we're stepping beyond the keyhole view to ask, do the dead, the animal guides, the friendlies, and the fair folk, or the fey folk, keep speaking in frequencies that our meat radios rarely tune? Our meat
I love
radios.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I'm ready.
Yeah, buddy. So, firstly, I wanted to get into, how do we prove that animals and pets have souls? How is this a provable thing? And how do we distinguish and how do we discern an animal soul from a human soul? Is there a difference? Is it all the same whenever you get to a certain level? That's where we're going to get. So
If they can see that, I'm willing to bet that there's no difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like there's some type of structural difference of an animal soul as opposed to a human soul. No, I don't think so.
I don't think that there would be. But it says, proving that animals and pets have souls depends on the audience that you're speaking to, because quote unquote proof means different things in spiritual, philosophical, and scientific contexts. So here's how you would approach it from multiple angles so that it resonates with anyone from a religious believer to even a skeptic. So firstly, we got to start with the religious people, because you just wouldn't believe it. How many? I'm like, bro, have you never seen the movie All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
One of
Come
the
on
best of all time.
Come on now.
And I got my fatty over there sitting on the bed. That's my dog. He's part boxer, part wiener. I call him Fatty because he has
I'm
big
glad
fat
you
cheeks.
clarified that. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have
What's mean fatty? What's this fatty?
Yeah, I don't have. I'm not going to get wild here.
What's going on here? What kind of live is this?
Yeah. So Christianity, we're going to start with this, and it's just I believe 2 different verses that talks about animals. And the first one is actually in Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible. So in Genesis chapter 1 verse 30, it says God gives life, in quotes, to animals. The Hebrew word for life in this context, I was originally talked about, it was nephesh, which often translates to soul.
All right.
So
well, there you go.
God gives soul to animals, literally in the first book of the Bible.
All right.
Okay. Then you got Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 19 through 21, say that both humans and animals share the same breath of life and return to dust.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll take
Can't
that
argue
one.
that. All right.
Then you got Hinduism and Buddhism. Obviously, they believe that all sentient beings, humans, animals, even insects, are part of the cycle of samsara, implying a soul or consciousness that reincarnates.
Mm.
That's extremely believable to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with that, dude. Maybe we can come back as a turtle. You know what I mean?
would
And
love
then
that.
our owner or whatever is just like on some shrooms and we can talk to him and shit.
Hey, I probably already did that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Then you got the indigenous beliefs. So many Native American and shamanic traditions teach that every animal has a spirit guide form and a personal essence that survives death. I'll tell you what, dude. You know, it's the summertime. You're going to get flies and mosquitoes and spiders and all these different kind of insects that try and come into your house and everything.
hmm
Bro, every time I go and swat a fly, I'm like, I'm so sorry.
You feel a little
I'm
bit
so
bad.
sorry. I mean, look, I'm sorry. You only had one day to live anyway. You know, like,
Right.
I'm sorry I cut that short. But
Yeah.
especially like spiders, dude. I used to be scared of spiders. Now I just pick those fucking things up. I just go, you know, lay them outside a little
It
bit.
depends on what we're talking about. You know, if you find a scorpion, like where I'm at, like if for whatever reason in this particular neighborhood, there's scorpions. And so when I kill a scorpion, dude, I don't feel bad at all. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, reincarnation, you'll become something else. It's fine. You know what I mean?
It was part of your cycle.
Completed the cycle. That's all.
I just so happen to play a big role in the cycle of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Then there is the philosophical reasoning. So it gets into consciousness and qualia. So animals demonstrate awareness, emotions, and unique personalities. If the soul is defined as the seat of consciousness, then their lived experiences point to a soul-like quality.
I'm already sold on the whole. Yeah, I'm already sold on this, man. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. I just, for any of the skeptics out there about like, well, how could you possibly be communicating with a fucking animal soul? They don't have souls. I just want to lay it out there for everybody. Because you know you're going to have your skeptics. And to be honest, I don't know how I feel about it. I believe it, but I'm like, how are you doing that? But to be honest, it's like, all right, if I can have somebody, a psychic per se, possibly tap into my energetic field and talk to past loved ones or whatever and have that proven to me in the way that it happened to me, why would animals be any different?
Right. I'm with you.
You know?
Yep.
And also I talked about this on the cult the other day, or last night rather, and there was this woman, and I feel like I brought it up over here too, but Rogue Ways, shout out to Lindsay Sharman. She had somebody come on to her show. It's like one of her best friends. Like they went to high school and everything together. And she communicates with pets and animals and stuff like that. And so she comes on, and whenever she comes on, she gives like free readings to anybody that shows up to the live show. She does like live shows like this, right? Bro, every single time there is like a holy shit moment. Every single time. I'm like, yeah, like from, you know, certain ailments that, you know, and she's not only just communicating with the dead, she's also communicating with the animals that you have. So like if you have a sick animal, or your animal is getting real lethargic or is too crazy lately or something like that, and you say, you know, hey, why is Barney or whatever acting this way? She's going to tap into that field, and all of a sudden, bang, she knows, well, you got to change Barney's food.
Right.
Or, you know, you got to give Barney's hips a little massage or something like that. Like it's the craziest thing. And so that message comes through. The pet owner then goes and does whatever she, you know, advocates for. And then it works. It's like, if it's fake, how does that work?
Pretty convincing.
To me, it is.
I'd like to get her on, you know, just to see what we can make happen on the live.
I would love that. Yeah. So I'm going to reach out to Lindsay. Maybe we can get Lindsay and her on at the same time. I think that would be great.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. That being said, since this is an animal episode, I figured we bust out the old tarot deck, or I'm sorry, the animal spirit guide deck here. And
it's been a minute, dude.
Yeah, it has been a minute. But how we're going to do it differently is that everybody that is here on the live is going to, if you would like, is going to get a message from a spirit that may have passed on in the animal form. Okay?
Right.
So maybe you have a dog that's passed on, a cat, a fucking parakeet, whatever. And every card that we are going to pull is going to be a message in one form or fashion to each individual.
Love it.
So I feel like that's going to be something awesome. Dude, these animal oracle cards are the shit. Every time I pull one, I'm like, oh my God, give me another, you know? So good.
Yeah, dude.
Then you have so we're going to do that a little bit later though once we get through the information. But there is, as far as philosophical reasoning, there is moral reciprocity. So some philosophers like Jeremy Bentham argue that the ability to suffer and feel joy is more important in determining soulhood than abstract reasoning, which animals clearly possess.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's a good argument.
Mm.
Now we're going to get over to the scientific and experiential evidence. So while science can't measure quote unquote souls directly, it can document phenomena consistent with spiritual life. So animal emotions. So studies show that pets grieve, they form deep bonds, and display empathy, behaviors rooted in something beyond pure instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that says, "Oh, well, animals, they're just operating in instinct, they're operating in defense mode or whatever," no, they grieve, they form deep bonds, and they display empathy. That is not something of just a lower animal mind.
Yeah, I think that was because I had questioned one of my friends about that, and I was like, why wouldn't animals have something going on, you know? And it was basically the instinct thing. That's what was brought up to me, and I was like, okay, you know, like there's no intellectual, no use of free will and things of that nature. It's just strictly instinct. So
a sixth sense of sorts.
Yeah.
Here's another one. So near-death experiences and shared death experiences. So some people, which we haven't done one of those shows in a minute, that needs to come around.
Yeah.
Some people report encountering deceased pets in their near-death experiences, often describing them with the same clarity as human spirits.
Yep. Yep. That's a common one, actually.
Yeah, and then there's behavior after death. So this is more anecdotal, but it is widespread. Pets behaving as if they quote unquote sense the presence of a deceased owner, or owners sensing their pets after they've passed. So both are both ways. It seems to be experiential, visibly. Then there are so many animal communicators and mediums claim to receive messages or appearances from deceased pets, as we've talked about. There are dream visits, which this has happened to me more often than anything else, I would say. Dude, I can't tell you. I remember having a dream. Like, I've had this dream so many times, years after my dog died. Shout out to Baxter. He was a boxer.
Baxter.
Such a good dog, dude. That was my dog growing up. Yeah, it was like the family dog, but everybody knew that was my baby. You know?
And it was understood. Yeah.
It was just understood. He slept with me every night, everything, right? Well, after he died, because he kept on getting like these cancerous cysts, which boxers are known, it's a hereditary thing. And so he eventually ended up dying from it. And but after he died, I kept on having dreams that he would come to me in my dreams, and you know, at the moment or at the time, whenever I was having the dream, I didn't know that it was a dream. You know, I thought it was reality, as most people do whenever you're within a dream. And I remember seeing him like come out of a field, and now he's like chasing to come to get to me, like he's running to me, and I'm like, oh my God, how did you get here? I thought you died. And I remember it feeling so real, and he's talking to me, bro. I don't remember what, like, it's been a long time since I've had one of those, but like, I remember like specific, it was not like, you know, talking Ed or whatever with the horse or anything like that. It was more of a telepathic thing, but I knew that what I was hearing was coming from him. And he was like, yeah, I haven't gone anywhere. And I was like, what? and I've had that dream so many times, dude. And so, yeah, the dream visits, I mean, have you ever had a visit from an animal?
No, I haven't actually. No, but I think it's really cool though that in the dream you understood that Baxter had already died, you know, and then here he is like paying you a visit, rather than in the dream you just accepted that he never died, and there he is.
Yeah,
you know? So that's cool.
Yeah, the message got through. So then there are synchronicities, of course, unusual signs like like seeing your pet's favorite toy appear out of nowhere are interpreted by many as soul communication. Okay. Interesting one. All right, now we're going to get to the science of the field in general. The science of the field, the filters, and the frequencies that are unseen but do exist.
All right.
So your brain is a filter, not a camera. Predictive coding and attentional gating suppress most incoming data so that you function. Because you can only take so much data, bro, or else you're just going to overload. And I think that that's why we have limited capabilities as humans, because any more than that, you would freak out. I mean, if you were just walking around and you had, you can't walk around on DMT every second for the rest of your life. It would be too much. It'd be too damn much.
I think when we covered that, I forget what we were talking about, but it was like 11 million bits of data that's just like coming at you at all the time, and really we only get about 10 of those.
50,
or 50 that we can really focus on.
Yeah, out of
I feel like
all
I've
of
had
the
those
information.
moments where, like, if I go into like a Walmart or something and I'm walking, there's like one or two things that I'm gonna get, and so I'm just like kind of walking fast, trying to get through it, and I just feel like everything's happening way too fast. I don't know. Maybe something's wrong with me, but there's times where it's like, this is just too much.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a couple seconds behind on some days where I can just never catch up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, nature proves perception is relative. So bees see ultraviolet nectar guides. Snakes detect infrared heat. Birds use magnetoreception. Interesting. Whales trade infrasound. And what is that other one from Finding Dory? He's like, boo,
oh yeah, it's like sonar.
Yeah, it's like a weird sonar.
Yeah.
Cells emit biophotons, which are ultra weak light in the UV visible range associated with cellular communication. So whether or not spirits are biophotons, the point is clear. There's a lot of signal that we don't consciously register. If consciousness is a field-like phenomena, various hypotheses such as electromagnetic or quantum informational or integrated information, then post-mortem awareness could persist as a pattern in the field, hard to see, easy to feel.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Or your
So
instincts
it just goes into the field, and so it's just kind of permeating permanently then.
I think that's all. That's where we,
That's where we go.
And even right now, like, we're not separate from the field. That's the thing.
No.
Is that, we just exist as something that is seemingly separate from the field. But, it's just because we have this corporeal body and it's a meat suit. But I think that, and I'm pretty damn sure that whenever we pass on, we just go into this informational field of sorts.
You become the Akashic Records at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is death as phase change, information, not annihilation. So this is going to be pretty weird. So physics says that energy transforms. Information theory asks what happens to organized information. Mystics call it soul, prana, ruach, kaba, or humpo. So think in phases of ice to water to vapor. The same H2O, different expression. Death might be a phase change of identity, dispersing from a localized body into a non-local field. That model elegantly explains why contact is symbolic, dreamlike, and synchronistic. The pattern makes itself known by nudging what we can perceive via probabilities, biology, and technology. All right. This research that this guy has done. Anybody that's never heard of a gentleman named Rupert Sheldrake, he's not dead. I think he lives in England or some shit. Rupert Sheldrake, this is not the only thing that he focuses on, but he has looked into animal communication, and it gets weird. All right, this is like that. This is like that Terrence Howard science.
Right. For sure.
So Rupert Sheldrake's work on animal communication is one of the most famous modern attempts to investigate psychic or non-local connections between animals and humans using scientific-style experiments, even though his conclusions are often considered controversial by mainstream science. Of course it would.
Yep.
So here's the core of what he found. The first thing that he found was the psychic pets hypothesis.
All right.
So Sheldrake argues that many animals, especially pets, show abilities that go beyond normal sensory explanation. He focuses on cases where pets seem to, in quotes, just know when their owners are coming home, when a person is about to call, or when something significant happens to their human companion. Like the pets just pick up on that.
they've got those guide dogs, like for people that have epilepsy. For some reason, the dog is able to detect like moments before it even happens that it's gonna happen. Like, what is that, dude? You
Uh,
know,
this
people around somebody with epilepsy wouldn't pick up on that. You
Right.
know,
I mean, and
so
how is it that, like if you think of, somebody and then they call you or text you? I mean, how
mhm,
many times does that have to happen to you for you to understand that it's not a coincidence?
that there's some shit going on, dude. There's
Like
some shit going
unreal. I'm sorry. I don't chalk anything up to coincidence because
on.
in
Right.
a world if we live in an illusion, let's for a lack of a better word. And I only say illusion as in not the saying that this is fake. It's that
It's
we only have we can
it's
only
not
pick up
all
on
of it.
some of it. Yeah.
Right.
It's not the whole thing.
Right.
But if we live in that, then it would seem that it's like a perfect system, right? Almost
Mhm.
like a video game,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So everything that would happen in a video game would be nothing more than just ones and zeros that are acting as if that there is some sort of perfect algorithm or some form or reason why they would be happening. There would always be
Mhm.
a reason, numerically, algorithmically,
Mhm.
programmed in some form or fashion. There's nothing that could ever be out of the ordinary in a
Right.
video game, right?
Yeah.
And I would
Exactly.
imagine that the world we live in is a lot more intricate and more in detail than just a simple video game made by humans in general,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So in
Exactly.
that case, every single coincidence, there cannot be one.
Mhm.
In a world of infinite possibilities, for you to get so many coincidences, unfathomable. That's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm with
Um, so he was talking about or when someone okay, so his main claims are that pets can pick up their owner's intentions at a distance.
Whoa.
That's a cool one. The connection is not limited by space or time because distance doesn't matter. That's something that we have come to really understand, especially
Yeah.
with like past life regressions and psychic readings and weird
Mhm.
shit like that. And even like how we mentioned earlier. Oh, it's about to thunderstorm here. Like how we mentioned earlier. That you think of somebody and then you get a text that could literally be
Mhm.
at any part of the world. I mean, you could be
Mhm.
living in Arizona and I could be living in China, right?
Mhm.
And the connection is going to come through at like light speed, faster
Mhm.
than light speed, probably.
Yeah, and I remember we had a meditation, and I went to visit, somebody that was kind of not feeling well in the family, and they're all the way in California. And sure, you can chalk it up to just my mind, but I feel like I actually traveled over there, at least from what I could see and what I was seeing within my mind's eye. And I feel like that time that it took to travel wasn't even necessary. It was only really giving me that so that I can make sense of it. I'm that's at least that's what I think.
Yes, yes. So just to get over the chat here for a second, Kara said, "Good evening, weirdos." You know what's funny is
Good
that
evening.
if you go back to our very first episode, that's
Mhm.
before we started calling everybody the one, we called them
Yeah.
weirdos. You remember that?
Oh shit! Yeah, it was only a few episodes. Like I think we stumbled upon the one like fairly quickly,
Yeah, within like 5 or 10 episodes, I think.
something like that. Yeah,
But originally y'all were weirdos.
you still can be. It's fine.
Still
we
can
don't
be.
judge.
Kara said, I have a dog tarot too. Dude, they're the best. I don't have a specific dog one. These are just like all the different animals or whatever, but they're pretty badass. What you got there, Danny? Oh, it's another tarot, like a tarot deck. Got you. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like they're so cool. They're the best. I love dishing them out like the cheese, baby. All right. So just to get back over here now. So okay. So the mechanism is likely, he believes, as far as animal psychic communication of sorts, that the mechanism is likely morphic resonance. His theory that natural systems inherit a collective memory from all previous similar systems. So there are the dogs that know when their owners are coming home experiments.
Mhm.
Imagine doing experiments on that. What an awesome job.
No, it happens to us all the time. We got 2 dogs, and for whatever reason, even when I'm still like a half a mile away, my wife says that the dogs start acting strange and they start getting kind of like energetic and kind of barking, and they just know, dude. And I'm still like way too far for them to even hear the car pull into the driveway. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like there's something to it. And you know what I was thinking about whenever we were on some Foreco and Hero was just like staring at you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like he never really
dude.
just. I feel like he was in the treehouse with us.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
felt that
thinking.
way too.
You know?
So you have Hero and Lola. And
Yeah.
so whenever we were tripping one night, Hero came and like sat up on the couch with me, and he started like snuggling hard up against me.
and then just
And-
looking at you like
And I
trying to
remember
figure out what.
yeah, he was like not mugging, but like really trying to identify
Very
what was
curious.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying like you were talking to Hero, dude. It cracked me up whenever you said this because you were talking to Hero. You were like, "Oh yeah, get up in there," just talking about like wanting him to get comfortable and
Yeah.
everything. It was hilarious. But so yeah, I think that absolutely exists, and it's a lot more visible whenever you are connected via psychedelics potentially.
Mm.
So Sheldrake conducted controlled studies with dogs whose owners had highly irregular schedules. So it's not just that, all right, well, he comes home at 4, I'm going to get up. You know, it's like the internal time clock. It's not that, right? So in experiments with a dog named JT, Jaytee, I don't even know why I had to clarify that. The owner would leave without a predictable routine and returned at randomly selected times. The dog would go to the door or window significantly more often during the last minutes before the owner arrived, even when no cues, like engine noise or regular timing, were possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was not.
I mean,
a
I
thing.
guess you could argue, you know, because a dog's senses are very strong, you know. So if you really wanted to, you could say like, well, you know, maybe your dog could smell you from a mile away. You know, who's to say? But just throwing it out there
Yeah, I
for
mean,
the naysayers.
from
you know.
with the walls of your house, and then the wind blowing, and then from inside your car,
Right.
and then with
Yeah.
you a couple minutes down the road.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it starts to seem like, dude, I think there's a little bit something more going on there rather than just
Right.
their regular 5 senses picking up on it.
Oh no. Yeah. I just brought that up because I know someone's probably thinking that. You know.
Shun the non-believers. So Sheldrake filmed these behaviors and analyzed them statistically, finding a correlation that was too strong to be explained by chance.
Mm.
All right. And then you have the telepathy-like connections. So it's telepathy-like. That is just the best word that he can use for this example. So Sheldrake expanded the work to cats who hide before vet appointments, often long before the owners take any visible action.
Oh wow.
That's interesting.
Wow.
How would they even know that?
Well, I would think that because you're probably, and at least this is just in my experience, whenever I had to take my cat Suki to get fixed, I was starting to get a little nervous. And so it could just be your cat feeding off of what you're feeling, and still a telepathic communication there, or empathic, whatever you want to call it.
That's probably the most likely thing going on.
Yeah. Mhm.
They're just
Yeah,
picking
because
up on
I'm
your
like, I don't know
energy.
how she's gonna act. You know, she could be, you know, she can have an attitude. You know, so I was like, I'm gonna go in. There's gonna be a bunch of other pets there. Like, how is she gonna be? But she was pretty chill, dude. But I was getting nervous leading up to it.
Well, and that even goes to point to like your energy is being mirrored by almost everything at all times.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
So that makes the most amount of sense. That if
Yep.
everything is all one and everything is you in a sense, then of course that energy is going to traverse time and space. Good Lord.
Oh yeah.
Thunder.
Norman?
And it's gonna traverse all of that. And so
Yeah.
I believe it. It checks out to me. Then there are parrots and horses that react to owners' thoughts or emotions from afar. He monitored that.
Whoa. I bet you horses are on some shit, dude.
They have
There's
to be.
something to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you ever looked into fucking like dolphin and human connection?
No, I haven't.
Bro,
Actually.
they outlawed women the want to go into what is it called whenever they're getting ready to have a baby, right?
Mhm.
They outlawed
labor?
that. Yeah, into labor. That's the word I was searching for. But the women that were going into labor, it said that the dolphins give off some kind of frequency or some kind of vibe or something like that makes the labor process so much easier, and it calms down women that are going into labor. Right? They
Really?
outlawed that.
They outlawed what though?
You cannot go into labor or anything like that by a dolphin anymore. It was a
People were doing this.
people were doing it like a lot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because of like the natural thing. It's like, a lot of people like to do the natural birthing process, whether in a bathtub or
There's another level to this.
Right. The dolphins were taking it to the next level, and like, what's that about? You know?
Right. Yeah. Dolphins in general are neat, actually. Just their intelligence and everything else.
Yeah, but then somebody had to take it too far and start fucking the dolphins, and it's like,
yeah,
there's always got to be that one guy.
Yeah.
I actually think that it was a woman that was doing it.
Oh, really?
Like, get weird, girl. So, all right. Then there's the human-animal telepathy reports, where owners think about walking the dog or feeding the cat. Just think about it. And the animals respond immediately, sometimes before the human even moves.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I don't think you can chalk that up to like sensing your smell.
No.
Like, what is that?
No, you're putting something out and they're picking it up. You know?
Yeah. Every time, not every time, but there's been times where I was meditating, dude, and my cat just comes in here and lays right next to my feet, dude, and just chills out.
Yeah.
So
it's some real shit. So then there is, all right, so now we're going to understand the morphic fields as the explanation. So the field in general, he calls it the morphic field. So Sheldrake believes that these phenomena can be explained through morphic fields, which are non-local fields of information that connect members of the same social or biological group. So the pet and the owner share a field of connection, what he says. And thoughts, intentions, and even emotions resonate through this field instantly without the limits of conventional physics.
I like it. We've experienced that, dude. You know what I mean? I felt like we were almost telepathic. For sure.
Yeah, I think that it probably works so much easier. Like, you're going to have your outliers, but I think that the normal person or the normal animal that you're always around or the one that you're familiar with, those are going to be the easiest vibes to pick up on. Like, it would make the most amount of sense, and that's kind of what that's what his research is backing.
That's cool.
Now, I believe that there are people that can go beyond that, but this makes the most amount of sense as far as, like, for argument's sake.
Yeah, I love it.
Because
we're gonna have to get into that morphic field, dude, because that sounds really interesting. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing, like the ether. It's the same substance that we're talking about, where telepathic messages are traveling through the medium, if you will.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think so. Science, what was it? I don't know, like 100 years ago, they were including the ether into all of their their scientific formulas and mathematical formulas and everything. And then they eventually got rid of it. I think that it was actually Einstein that got rid of it throughout his equations.
Relativity and
Yeah. But long before him, the ether was always something that was factored in. And I believe that actually that the ether or this field exists beyond just this dimension. I think that it could be
all of the dimensions are within the field, the one field,
or maybe that the only way that you can perceive that field of information would be through the lens of another dimension, if you could even do that.
Right.
But I think that it's absolutely there of sorts. You want to call it the ether, you want to call it the morphic field, you want to call it just the field in general, whatever. I think that there absolutely has to be some sort of highway for this information to be traveling.
The force. Let's just call it the force, dude. I'm good with that. Let's keep it simple.
Yeah. So, all right. So he's obviously had some criticism and some support. So the criticism, the mainstream scientists argued that the results could be due to subtle cues, poor controls, or statistical anomalies.
Whenever it comes to that, it's going to come down to physical observation, physical evidence, things that could be measured. I mean, it's always going to be kind of put in that box of crazy.
Isn't it?
When you can't really calculate any of this, it's like, well, we don't know what to do with it. Let's just call it dark energy.
Yeah. But isn't it funny how your belief almost determines what you have access to knowing and understanding and shit like that?
It dictates what you're open to. You know, if
Yeah.
you're closed off on some information, then you're not going to even look into it.
Right.
You know?
This
And
information
if you do
doesn't
look into it, you're not going to accept it
no
at all.
That's the
You know?
thing, is that this information doesn't stack up against my scholarly
Right.
research. But then there was support. So many pet owners claim that their experiences match Sheldrake's findings exactly, and his work remains widely read in the spiritual, parapsychology, and alternative science communities. So for anybody out there, if you're trying to prove that animals do have souls, Sheldrake's research is powerful because, number one, it suggests animals have awareness beyond physical senses. It shows that animals may share a conscious connection with humans, implying a deeper essence, whether you want to call it a soul or a spirit or a field that is linking them. And it uses experiments and statistical analysis, giving you more than just anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, I think we should all try this tonight. Just think about giving your pet a treat or something and see what happens. Just try some stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, yeah, I'll try that. So moving beyond Rupert Sheldrake, there is the ancestor thread. So across much of Africa and Afro-diasporic traditions, such as Akan, Yoruba, Congo, and in the Americas, traditions like leukemia and Santeria and voodoo, ancestor veneration is central. So the departed remains present, advising through dreams, divination, and omens. Masks, which are called Egungun. I don't know. That's a weird word. Masks make the invisible visible. So offerings of food, water, rum, and song create reciprocity. Animals frequently carry messages, such as owls, snakes, dogs, as vectors of meaning rather than fixed totems. So it says there is a respect note here that some rituals are closed, learn with elders, and keep protocol. Okay.
Little do they know it's demons.
Yeah.
Someone should tell them.
Oh, by the way, I started watching that His Dark Material show that Nick has been.
Oh yeah, I know.
Dude, it's good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I figured it was. If Nick is suggesting it,
Right. Yeah. But it's all about demons and it's
all
spelled like daemons,
Damon.
or whatever, but they say demons as if
Okay. All
I
right.
guess that's just how it's pronounced. We were trying to figure out how it was pronounced. At least that's how they pronounce it. They just call it demons.
Okay.
So nextly we have the shamanic currents. So in Siberia, the Amazon, the plains, and the Arctic. So in many shamanic streams, power animals that are also known as allies, they protect, teach, and sometimes shapeshift to be better understood. So drumming, like shamanic drumming, via like 4 to 7 hertz of theta entrainment, you can use that to be able to connect a little bit better. You can use rattles, plant allies, fasting, and solitude open channels. So a spirit may present as a jaguar in the forest, an animal or an owl in town, and then it just, whatever you're seeing. So maybe you see somebody's tattoo, or you see a billboard. It's the same effort. It's the same essence in a different mask. So that's what they mean by masks, is that it can show up in many different ways. It doesn't have to necessarily be through an animal medium, so to say.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So the test is utility. Did the encounter bring knowledge, healing, or warning? Right. And I think that's the same thing that goes with all synchronicities, personally.
It's up to the interpreter.
Bro, I've been seeing crazy synchronicities, like a lot lately. And because, man, it's weird. I usually see them from time to time. I'll be like, oh, look, it's 11:11 or it's 4:44 or whatever. Bro, every single time today and yesterday that I looked at the clock, it was like something synchronistic every single time. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I've been catching 11:01, which is strange.
Same thing.
A lot, though. Yeah.
Something to it, dude. So now we get over to Europe and the Fey folk, or the fair folk, as some people call them. So Celtic and other European folklores speak of the AOC, the city mounds, and liminal times, such as dusk and cross-quarter days like Samhain and Beltane, where contact thins the veil. So house spirits such as the tomty and the brownies. Shout out to the brownies.
There you go.
They guard the hearth and the field. Offerings of milk, bread, or oats keep the pact, and the Fey folk are not Tinkerbell. They're other than human intelligences with their own etiquette. Oh, man. And so animals, hares, ravens, they often act as heralds. So,
Okay.
I mean, they're there, dude. They got a role to play, it seems.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird. Then we get over to the Abrahamic channels. Now we're going to get a little strange.
All right.
So, angels, saints, and jinn. So, Abrahamic channels, that's Jew, Christian, Mormon, Islam, like all of it is connected right there, right?
All right.
So, in Judaism, you have the Malachim, which are the messengers, the Gilgal or Iber, which are the soul processes and dream visitations. So it says that they caution around necromancy, but pious remembrance is encouraged. So think of them fondly whenever they pass on, but don't try and communicate with them once they die. That's within Judaism.
Keeping them alive.
Right.
Okay.
In Christianity, the cloud of witnesses, the angels, the saints, and the strong tradition of intercessory prayer. So after death, people report impossible timings, favorite songs, scents, and birds. Okay. I don't know if that was in like the New Testament. It doesn't clarify that. Anyway, then in Islam, you have Ruya Sadiqa. I don't know, but it translates to true dreams. And jinn, which are beings of smokeless fire, require proper intention, purity, and ethical grounding. Across all three is humility, prayer, and discernment.
Wow.
Okay, well, at least all the Abrahamic channels at least speak on it.
They recognize it.
Right, as a real thing. Yeah. So it's not, and if they recognize it as a real thing, and now is this in regards to, that's not necessarily in regards to animals, it's just, it doesn't say necessarily only people though either. So I think just in general.
Yeah, I would think so.
Then in India, Tibet, and China, you have the Devas, the Yidams, and the Shem. So in Hinduism, you have the Piturs, which are ancestors, the Devas, and the animal-headed deities. They embody cosmic principles. So offerings, mantras, and darshan attune perception. Tibetan Buddhism maps the Bardo states. Dream yoga trains lucidity to meet teachers and ancestors. We need to do some of that dream yoga sometime.
Yeah, I think so.
And Chinese tradition splits the soul into Hun and Po, which is yin and yang. Which I didn't know this, but the Hun, so the yang part, it represents the ethereal, and Po, which is the yin, represents the corporeal.
Oh. All right.
Damn. All right. So you're talking about the physical reality and everything else.
Everything else that we can't see. Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? Yin and yang.
That's cool.
Across these systems, discipline practices refines perception to meet subtle intelligence. Subtle intelligences is what they call them. So pretty sweet.
All right. See, I always go back to, what we were learning before with the all is mind, and I feel like thinking about it in those terms doesn't take away from what everybody has said in the past, all the ancient peoples, talking about these different archetypes or these different angels or messengers or whatever. I feel like if all is mind, then it makes it all possible. It's just a different name for it.
Yeah. How many?
I don't know, that's what I like to go back to. It's like, okay,
how many radio stations do you have available? I think.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ashton said dolphins are the rapists of the sea.
Oh God.
You ever see how they fuck
Probably
with,
though.
You ever see how they mess with the pufferfish?
No.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I have actually.
Yeah, they're just
because
getting
they get
off
high
it.
or something, right?
Yeah. Dude, they pass this thing around like it's a joint. It's crazy.
They know how to get down.
All right. So there's a couple of websites that I did want to get to hear from specific people. And so I'm going to share right here. Okay. So this first one, this is from groundedpsychic.com. and it says Mastering Animal Communication, a step-by-step guide to connecting with your pets. So,
Okay.
all right. So I think that this is while they're still alive. This one, I believe, is while
Right.
they're, you want to communicate with them while they're still alive. This would be a couple of ways of how you do that.
All right.
It says psychic communication with animals, also known as telepathic animal communication, is the practice of understanding and exchanging thoughts, emotions, and images with animals without spoken words or body language. This ability is believed to be innate in all humans, but requires patience, practice, and an open mind to develop. This guide provides a step-by-step approach to unlocking your potential in psychically speaking with animals. So, number one is understanding the nature of animal communication. So, before attempting to communicate psychically with animals, it is essential to understand how animals communicate naturally. The first one would be body language. So, animals express emotions through movement, posture, and facial expressions. They have their vocalizations, of course. Many species use sounds, including barking, purring, chirping, or growling to convey messages. You can pick up on their energy and their emotion. So it says animals sense human emotions and intentions through energy fields and emotional states.
Yep.
I think we've all witnessed that one.
Yep.
And then telepathy. So many animal communicators believe animals transmit thoughts, feelings, and images directly into human consciousness. Images too.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I wonder though, if you're trying to communicate with your pet, do you need to be making eye contact, or can you just be in another room and try this and see what happens?
I don't know. I think later tonight, maybe I'll try that. My dog always follows me everywhere, so I can never be like in a different room. He is just on me
Right.
all the time.
Yep.
But I'll try it, maybe
Yep.
if I'm taking a shower or something, see if he shows up. So then there's cultivating the right mindset. So it says to enhance your ability to communicate psychically with animals, you must cultivate the right mindset. So believe in the possibility is number one.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, it has to be.
Yep.
Skepticism can create mental blocks. So approach the process with an open and willing heart, which makes a lot of sense because that seems to traverse across all spiritual realms.
And
Even
all modalities. Talk about Reiki. You go to see someone and get Reiki performed on you, and if you're not even going to, I guess you've already kind of opened up, to the possibility of it working because you showed up to the appointment, but I feel like it would work so much better if you just take that suggestion and assume that your body is being healed,
Right. Yeah, well, and also think about being open to seeing the orbs or the Pleiadians, as Nick would like to say, right?
Yeah.
If you're
That's a good
closed off to that
example.
idea, you're just not going to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is crazy how that works. If that is a physical thing that is going on, how is it that my belief is not allowing me to see it? But
Right.
I think that that's actually the false question, or that's not the right question to ask. It would be more so those entities or those thought forms or those UFOs or whatever they are somehow picking up on your vibes in some form or fashion, right?
Well, I think it's even more than that. I mean, some people will just not even look up. You were trying to show your sister literal orbs in the sky, and for whatever reason, she was so busy doing what she was doing and just she would just refuse to even look. And so
She said, "I don't
there's
believe in
levels
that."
to that. Right? Yeah.
I don't
And so
believe in
there you go.
that.
Perfect example of that.
I don't need you to believe in it. Just
Right.
fucking, I believe
Just
that you have eyes that can look up into the
Point
sky.
your
That's
eyeballs
it.
over there. Right.
Yeah, that's it. And then, of course, so there's believing in the possibility, but then you want to practice mindfulness. So being present in the moment enhances your receptivity to subtle energies, of course. And then strengthening your intuition. So engage in activities that develop your intuitive faculties, such as meditation and visualization exercises. Okay. And then there is deep emotional balance. So animals are highly sensitive to human emotions. Maintaining a calm and peaceful state allows for clearer communication.
Yeah. You get that baseline. You know what I mean? More contrast.
It seems like this is common sense, which is weird because we're just learning how to do this,
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but I feel like it's just because of all the stuff that we've already learned, it's really kind of lining up with everything else. And so, yeah.
Right.
So what's been happening though lately?
Yeah. It just shit gets weird whenever you start picking up on information, you start applying it to your life, and you're like, oh, there it is. I found it. If that was bullshit, what I just learned, then how did it just show itself right there?
Right.
You know?
Another synchronicity. Right.
There are so this is it's going to teach you how to strengthen your telepathic abilities. So it says, like any skill, psychic communication with animals requires training and practice. So number one, everybody's number one anytime with everything is always meditation. Every single time.
Yep.
Like it is the most important. So it says practicing meditation helps quiet the mind and heightens your ability to receive subtle messages. Focus on deep breathing and clearing mental distractions.
Yep.
Okay. Doesn't say necessarily how long, but most people suggest at least 10 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
try and
Yeah.
just meditate for at least 10.
Just trying to relax a little bit. That's all.
That's what we try and usually go for. I mean, we don't go for anything lower than 10 minutes, I don't think.
No. Mm-mm.
That's the bare minimum. Then you have visualization. So while you're in meditation, I think, but it says close your eyes and picture an animal in your mind's eye. Try sending them an image or a feeling. For example, if you want to communicate food, visualize their favorite meal.
Oh, okay. So there you go. You don't even need eye contact. You just visualize your pet.
Just visualize it. Yeah.
All right.
Then there's energy sensitivity exercises. So spend time in nature, feeling the energy of plants, animals, and the environment. Try sensing the presence of animals without looking at them directly. So energy sensitivity exercises.
That's cool. I feel like that happens a lot, dude. I'll look over for like no reason at all, at least seemingly, and there's birds flying by. Like right when I look over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like and then I'll look away and then I'll do it again and it happens again. I'm like, what's going on, man? You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
Making
funny
this
you
happen?
mentioned that because I literally just saw that earlier today. So I have in my living room, there's like there's the regular windows, but then there's another section with like high up windows because I have like high ceilings in my apartment, right?
Okay.
And I just so happened to glance at those small little sliver of window section a couple of times, and every single time I saw birds flying, and I was like,
Right.
what are the odds
So
of that?
that's what we're talking about, dude. You're
Yeah.
sensing it. You know, as far as you were concerned, there was no reason for you to look over there, but you did anyway. You know, and then just so happens to be birds flying by.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like,
so weird.
all right.
Then you have dream journaling. A lot of people talk about this one. So you want to pay attention to dreams about animals. So it could be any animal, but there's always some kind of message that's being conveyed. So as these can be avenues for subconscious communication. So write down any vivid animal encounters upon waking and look for patterns over time.
Beautiful.
We need to start doing that.
Yeah.
We're-
It's a sore subject around here, the dream journal.
I know.
Yeah.
We're literally sleeping on that.
Yeah. I mean, we can go to Five Below, grab a notebook, just set it, no, we're just not, we just won't do it. I don't know
For
what's
some
going on.
reason or another. I don't know why. It just seems like such a hassle to
Yeah.
write something down. I don't want to do
Yeah.
shit as soon as I wake up, dude.
No.
Nothing.
No.
So the idea of gathering my thoughts to form complete sentences and then writing it,
Yeah. Exactly.
I ain't got
Yeah,
that
my-
kind of dog in me,
My wife, she to bring her up again, she has some crazy dreams, dude. Like she's super tapped in. Like we were supposed to go and buy a new van, well, a new to us van. And because we wanted something bigger, something that was going to be more comfortable for the kids. And just the talk about sensing the energy in a room. We were at the dealership and I don't know, dude. You know how the people at dealerships are sometimes, like they kind of want to pressure you or they kind of just, I don't know. It was just a weird feeling, a weird atmosphere. And then of course there was a number of things that kind of put a weird taste in my mouth, about the whole situation. And so when we were going home, I was already kind of like, I don't know, kind of thinking about it, but I was thinking about the kids, maybe we need to just do it anyways. And then my wife has a dream that her and I and our son are in the car, the same car that we took to go to the dealership. And for whatever reason, the road started to like narrow really fast. And she started to panic because there was like no room for the car to travel any further. And then all of a sudden there was like a cliff and it was like a black hole that we were like falling into. And she woke up and told me that, and I was like, maybe we shouldn't get that car.
Maybe not.
Like it was just like a message that was like, don't do it, and so, we didn't get it. It was just too much.
I would say that's probably the best thing you could have done.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was thinking about it too, it's just it really is a financial burden and we didn't necessarily need it. And so we were just trying to figure out what we should do, and it's like, you know what, let's just wait until our finances are where we want them to be before we do that. But just that dream was just so obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're falling into a black hole.
Oh yeah. Well,
like,
that could
well-
be like falling into a money pit at that
Right.
point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So no.
Yeah, I would say pay attention to all your dreams for sure. And look, maybe not every single one, but like the more profound ones, probably a good idea to jot them down. You
The
know?
ones that seem to actually pertain to the situation that you're in. You know, if you're contemplating something and then you have a dream that seems to answer something, then that's probably one of the ones you want to pay attention to. I would think.
I would say
I
so.
could be wrong.
Yeah. So beyond dream journaling, it says practice sending and receiving. So hold an object belonging to an animal, such as a collar or a toy, and focus on any emotions, words, or images that come to mind. Okay. Yeah, that and I feel like there's probably a lot of traditions that use that. Like you see it in like TV shows and movies and stuff like that, to where you need a specific item to be able to connect with a specific person or
I
animal.
forget
or
what
whatever.
that's called. I forget what that's called. The psychic ability of like touching something. We
There's a
covered
word
it
for it.
like early on. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a word for it. So then nextly, you want to there are exercises to develop your psychic communication. So exercise number 1, silent observation. So spend time observing an animal without engaging in verbal or physical interaction. Note their body language, expressions, and energy, and try to sense their mood and emotions intuitively.
You're basically training to become an empath. You know,
Yeah, just picking up on whatever's coming, you know.
subtle cues and yeah.
Number 2 would be thought sending. So sit quietly with an animal and mentally send them a simple message. For an example, come closer. See if that works.
Okay.
That's
Short
cool.
and sweet. Okay.
Then you want to imagine the message as a clear image or feeling. So you don't
Okay.
want to just think about something. You want to almost embody that resonance of that image or that thing.
Yep. As if it's happening.
As if
Right.
it's happening. You're right.
Okay.
And then you want to observe if the animal reacts to the message. So
All right.
I guess if you get a little subtle reaction from them, maybe they like,
Yeah.
you know, one of
I'm
those bad
trying it.
boys.
I'm trying it.
Yeah. Then try that one out. Then you have mirror breathing. Interesting. So
Okay.
sit calmly near an animal and match your breathing to theirs. As you synchronize, imagine a deep connection forming between you. Once connected, mentally send them positive energy or a reassuring message.
I like it.
Oh,
Just
wow.
another visualization tool right there.
Just
You know,
mirror
you're
it.
linking the physical reality to your mind and really trying to tap into that. That's cool.
And then you have the object reading. So hold an object frequently used by an animal, such as their collar or toy. You close your eyes and try to sense any emotions, images, or impressions connected to the object, and note your findings and validate them through interaction with the animal. Object
Okay.
finding. And then picture messaging, which we just went over. Nextly, you want to establish a connection with the animal. Be the easiest way. So choose a calm environment. Find a quiet space with minimal distractions where you and the animal feel safe and comfortable. You want to set an intention. So state your desire to communicate with the animal and request their openness to the process. Mentally express gratitude for their willingness to connect. Okay. And then you want to tune into their energy. So close your eyes and focus on the animal's presence, sensing their emotions and energy, and then take deep breaths and try and match your emotional frequency to theirs. Then send a message, imagine a clear image, sound, or feeling, and mentally send it to the animal. So for instance, if you want them to come closer, visualize them walking towards you and experiencing a positive emotion.
All right.
That's awesome.
I like it.
And then you want to acknowledge the communication. So if you sense that there's a response, mentally thank the animal for engaging with you. So reinforce positive interactions with a comforting tone or gentle touch if appropriate.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then there's, of course, ethical considerations, which, whatever, I'm not going to get into that one. Overcoming challenges and roadblocks. Okay, so maybe you have doubt and skepticism about all this. So just trust in the process and your growing abilities. Keep practicing, even if the results are slow at first. The mental distraction. So you want to reduce mental chatter through deep breathing and relaxed techniques, and you want to focus on the present moment. That's always number one for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's the emotional interference. So avoid communicating when feeling overly emotional or stressed, as this can distort the message that you receive.
Right. I mean, that goes with anything, man.
Yeah, it's
we've talked about this.
Bro, I've had quote unquote psychics try and give me a message, but they have to be drunk in order to get the message. I'm like,
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I vibe with that.
Your
She's
methods
like-
seem fraudulent.
She's like, I can sense your grandma, but give me a shot of Fireball. I'm like, what? What is going on here?
Light me a cigarette
Yeah.
while you're at it.
And then, so overcoming challenges such as lack of immediate results. So psychic communication takes time. You want to be patient and persistent in practice. Approach each session with a sense of curiosity rather than expectation. Big
Mhm.
one.
Yep.
I like that.
Just like anything else. Holy shit.
Nextly, we have a website from the petdeparted.com. These are 10 signs that your pet is visiting you from the afterlife.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's see. The continuity of the soul. Many people believe that the soul is eternal and that it continues to exist even after death. This belief is also applicable to pets. The continuity of the soul means that your pet's spirit may still be present even after their physical body has passed away. So pet afterlife visits can be a way for your pet's spirit to let you know that they are still with you in spirit. While it's impossible to prove the existence of an afterlife, many pet owners find comfort and belief in their that their pets are still with them in some form. So 10 signs that your pet is visiting you from the afterlife. So losing a pet can be one of the most heartbreaking experiences, so it's natural to wonder if your beloved companion is still with you somehow. Luckily, many pet owners report experiencing visits from their pets in the afterlife, which might be a possibility for you too. So here are some common signs that your pet may still be with you. There are physical manifestations. So one of the most common ways that pets communicate with their owners from the afterlife is through physical manifestations. So you may feel a sudden rush of cold air or a gentle touch on your face or hand. Some pet owners report feeling their pet's presence in the form of a warm spot on the bed or couch where their pet used to sleep. Whoa, that's awesome.
Interesting.
Then there's catching a glimpse. So it says some pet owners have reported seeing a fleeting shadow or a shape that resembles their pet out of the corner of their eye. These brief sightings can be incredibly soothing for many and offer a sense of connection as if the beloved companion is still keeping a watchful eye over them. So catching a glimpse. Then there's auditory signals. Another way that pets communicate from the afterlife is through auditory signals. You may hear your pet bark, meow, or purr even though they're no longer physically present. So some pet owners report hearing the sound of their pet's collar jingling or the sound of their pet's paws on the floor.
Wow. That's cool.
It's pretty
You know,
gnarly.
and if you're wondering, whether it was a shadow figure or just something that told you that there was something there, it's like whatever you think that it was is what it was. You know, whatever that first nudge of, oh, that was my pet. You know what I mean? Then that's probably what it was.
And that's actually statistically true too. Like if you're going to take a test, usually like your first instinct about what it is, it's like I can't remember the exact percentage, but I remember reading about this because I used to always, like, I hated school and I was trying to figure out like little backdoor ways of still passing tests and just like, little mind hacks or whatever.
Yep.
And I believe that I read that like your first intuitive feeling towards it, your first gut reaction whenever you're reading it, usually will get you a C
Right.
every time. Just crazy.
Yeah, I wish I would have known this though back in the day.
I know.
Because I probably would have done so much better.
Oh,
Because
dude.
I was one of those kids that would really second guess. Like, that makes a lot of sense, but I think they're tricking me here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, why are they trying to trick us?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, hey, I was a straight C student, baby. I did the
Hey.
bare minimum to get by.
Tapped in then,
Yeah.
it sounds like.
Well, yeah, maybe I was just going with that intuition,
Yeah.
Nextly, you have the unexplained movements. So pets can also communicate from the afterlife through unexplained movements. Oh wait, I already read that one. Tripping. You have the feeling their presence. So one of the most common signs that your pet is visiting from the afterlife is the feeling of their presence. Oh wait, did I already read these or am I
think
tripping?
I I feel like you did.
Dream visits. Okay, this is kind of going over a lot of what we already talked about, I think.
Okay.
So sensing emotional support, sensing their smell, signs in nature. Okay, so seeing animals that remind you of your pet or noticing unusual animal behavior that feels significant can be another way that your pet is assuring you that you are not alone. Another one would be unusual electrical disturbances. So flickering lights and spontaneous electronics may be gentle whispers from the afterlife, and although scary for some, they can be comforting for others who consider this manifestation a reminder of the unbreakable bond that they share with their departed pets. So, interesting. I like it. What do you think about this so far?
It's funny because like whenever you talk about like trying to communicate with somebody that's on the other side, and it's like, oh, okay, I don't know, because I don't really know what I feel about like the whole soul thing, and you can really get in the weeds or whatever. But whenever you're talking about animals, it just seems more possible for some reason, at least in my brain.
I think so. Yeah, because you create such a bond. There's no way that there's not some kind of imprint that is left of sorts.
Oh, for sure.
So this is another website called top10.com, and this is going to be, showing ways to communicate with pets after their death. So one that you can visit their gravesite.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you could do that. Most people just get them cremated nowadays, though, I think.
Yeah. That's what we did.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you choose to bury your pet after death, you may have a particular gravesite prepared for them. So if so, visiting your pet's burial site often is essential, as their remains and memory holds a special connection to them. This allows you to communicate and connect immediately with them via the gravesite. Okay. I'm going to skip over the ones that we've already read. So if you had them cremated, you keep their ashes close. So some owners will choose to cremate their pets. By keeping their ashes, you are holding on to a part of them. Placing their ashes on a particular place that is important to you will not only help you grieve and hold on to their memory, but this will also but this act will also be of a sentimental value. Your pet's spirit will be able to feel their body in the ashes as they pass to the other side, as they may come to visit you and communicate with you. Okay. Then you want to visit places that you both loved. That makes sense. Meditate on their behalf.
I mean, really, like what I think of when I hear all of these is basically just putting you in that state of mind. You have your pet's ashes, and then you're gonna think of your pet, and so it's going to be in your mind, and so you're gonna be more just in tune with that energy. Makes sense.
It does check out a lot of, and you know what? I think that a lot of this seems so easy because why does it have to be hard?
It doesn't have to
it's
be.
because
No.
we got that left logical brain that's like, well, what about this? What about that? What about what? But whenever you get out of that and you're just like, you're trying to imagine and, use your creative brain more than anything else, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is common sense. Isn't that
Well,
weird?
it's probably because it's natural. I know we talk about like all of the different dimensions and parallel universes, and maybe all of this is just one Mandelbrot set or whatever you call that thing, but in reality, no matter, including all of that, it's still nature. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's here naturally, I believe.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so the things that we cover and talking about telepathy and communicating with a pet that's on the other side is just part of what is natural to us. And so it doesn't have to be hard. It shouldn't be.
Yeah. It's just a natural thing.
That's it.
It's inherent within everybody and every living thing for sure.
Yeah.
So meditating on their behalf. So meditation is a beautiful tool to still our bodies and clear our minds. It helps to connect to the present moment and allows the energy surrounding us to come through in the most unexpected ways. Meditation can help with visualization and the expansion of your imagination. Meditation allows your soul to travel through the spirit realm and connect to worlds from different timelines and dimensions. I love when people say that.
You're redirecting your attention. You're pointing it at something. And so you're going to see the fruits of that, I think.
Yes. It says you can often recreate a story with your pet through meditation and allow yourself to be open to the messages that come through with your pet. Your pet will take you on a magical adventure in the unconscious realm if you're lucky. We're doing that today.
Let's do it.
That's not even a question.
Say less.
We
baby
are
girl.
going. I want to do a guided pet meditation.
Let's do it.
We're definitely
right.
doing that.
I'm down.
Another way is performing a ritual. So, ancient cultures and shamans practiced rituals to worship and communicate with animals. They would often undertake spiritual journeys that would connect them to animal spirits that would act as guides and messengers. They used natural elements to communicate with animals from the other side. So, you can connect with your pet by performing a simple ritual such as lighting a candle, praying through crystals, and embodying yourself in nature. We are connected through nature's elements, thus, we are one energetically.
Yes, dude.
Sounds about right.
Mhm.
Then you can dream about your pet, write in a pet journal, connect through tarot divination, which is what
There
we're
we
going to be
go.
doing.
There it is.
So, tarot divination is a practice where you can connect to your pet through mediumship. Since the tarot is a mirror to the soul, you can connect to your pet by seeking the answers from within. Often, those close to us live within certain aspects of our personalities. Thus, by connecting the tarot cards, or with the tarot cards, you can find out what your pet thinks, feels, and wants you to say after death. It's a great practice that will create a special moment of mindfulness and help you connect deeply with your intuition.
No, right.
I like it. I like it a lot. It a lot of this just really, I don't know, it just resonates, I think, you know?
Yeah, and when you asked me earlier as far as having a dream of a pet that has passed, I mean, maybe I have. It's just been so long ago, I just don't remember now, But I'm almost certain it's happened.
Right. So there's more stuff that we could get into, but I feel like we pretty much got the idea about how it works.
Yeah.
There are certain rituals and 7-day working prayers and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I don't think we necessarily need to get into that. Then there's obviously like doing it through the use of psychedelics and meditation, trance, and dream work, which we talked about. Prayer, candle magic, and altarcraft. And so yeah, I mean we already know a lot of this stuff already.
Yeah, and then like at the end of the day, I feel like the biggest takeaway, is just trying to get your state of mind, get to that state of mind, And so if thinking about your pet or your past pet gets you in that state of mind, whether it's in a meditation or what have you, I mean, usually when you think of your pet, you have good feelings and good emotions. And so if that's a tool that you could use just simply to get into a higher vibrational state of mind, then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit.
Just think about them fondly, and maybe that will resonate throughout the rest of your body, allowing for transmission to come through.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
That's the thing. And I feel like a lot of people probably would think, oh, I'm just making that up in my mind. But anybody that is like an experienced meditator, dude, you know that is beyond just like your mind making things up. Like you have access to shit that you never even thought about.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even an experienced meditator would still even maybe question it, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you've been here before. There's no way that you just made up this entire world in full detail. That's the thing that gets me so much, is that surely we can go to sleep and have a dream and create our own world. Yeah, we all understand that. But when you go into a meditation and within a few minutes, you're just kind of observing this place that seemingly didn't even exist before, but here you are, and it's kind of just holding for you. You look over here and this is over there, and you look over here and it's just this whole world. And so I don't know, the mind is so amazing, man. And I think that's what all of this is about.
Dude, yeah. I just love it all. And it doesn't have to be hard, Like that's the thing, is that it can just be something that's easy. And speaking of easy, let's get to our first animal message, or our first message from the Animal Spirit Guide. I pulled this bad boy for Britt, so hopefully you're listening out there, Britt.
All right.
We're going to get kind of weird here. Your message comes from, oh, interesting. Oh, well, hopefully this resonates with you. This is from the tortoise. So,
Right.
the tortoise, it says, when you're feeling pressure from any number of fronts, pulled this way, and that by the, that doesn't make any sense. Let me reread that. When you're feeling pressure from any number of fronts, pulled this way, and that by the demands of modern life, it's very easy to succumb to false senses of urgency, to feel out of balance and fragmented, and be in a constant state of tension. You can become forgetful and have difficulty sleeping. You may even attempt to stabilize and center yourself by resorting to the use of addictive substances or activities, hoping that they'll help you feel more at home in your own skin. Meanwhile, your mind rushes ahead from one thing to the next while your body tries to play catch up. The technological web, consisting of computers, the internet, cell phones, faxes, who uses that anymore, and television, plus the noises all around, creates a constant assault on your senses. It's exhausting, isn't it? First, recognize that most things that you treat as emergencies or crises are merely inconveniences. Then, slow down. Move a little bit slower than you're accustomed to, and practice breathing slower and deeper every opportunity that you get. This in itself helps you align with your internal rhythms rather than being in a state of continuous reactivity to outside forces. So spend time in nature and take off your shoes and socks. Putting your bare feet on the ground allows you to truly experience your solid connection to the earth. When you do, notice the difference in how you feel and see if your mind isn't at least a bit calmer. It may be challenging at first and at times to do any of this, but it can be done. It just takes your clear intention and willingness. So the message from the tortoise says, slow your roll.
I love it, dude. That's a great one.
That is a
That's
good
cool.
one. All right. So the tortoise...
It's so true though about the the technology that we have around us all the time. It almost like gives us a false sense of like that fight or flight. It's like you have this sense that you need to be like beware of something, and then all reality, there's nothing really to be worried about. You're just kind of creating that. I've definitely experienced that.
I think so too. Yeah, you gotta. It's good to just take a breath and realize that, like, man, the house ain't on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. The next card goes to Pete. Pete, if you're listening. Oh, all right. Pete got the peacock.
All right.
Let yourself stand out and be noticed.
There you
It
go.
says. So the peacock, here we go. It's time to step forward and stop hiding behind any of the facades that you've developed over the years. Although these personas have been highly adaptive and have helped you along the way, for which you can be grateful, there's more of you to express to the world, and it's ready to emerge. There's a certain safety and comfort in being inconspicuous and always staying in the background, yet in playing it safe in this way, others don't have the opportunity to get to know who you really are, and you don't get to experience the richness and textures that are possible by participating more fully in life. By remaining in the background, you not only alienate yourself from others, but often you end up allowing others to choose for you. So doing so can make you feel like a passive victim of life. Being noticed does have some risks. People may criticize you or judge you, particularly if they're not used to you asserting yourself in such a way. Or you may feel judged yourself, which can be an even harsher sentence. These are the most likely risks, but they're actually very minimal. So shed any guilt or shame about coming out with who you are. Wear more colorful clothing, sing, dance, and let others know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. You can do so with grace, dignity, and enthusiasm, and you might even enjoy it, says the peacock.
Love it. Don't dim your light, Pete.
Yeah.
Don't dim it.
Don't do that. Pete said, 100. I'm a main character. Got to live in that energy.
That's right.
Yeah, buddy.
That's right. Nobody can do it for you,
Nobody can.
But it can be scary though. That I do recognize that as far as like trying to come out of your shell, and like you have that understanding that people already know, quote unquote, who you are, just from what you've shown them. And it's like once you start to act outside of that, now you're just throwing the whole system off, So
yeah. And that's the thing. You gotta, usually most of the time, you're your own worst enemy, and you just got to get out of your own way. That's the biggest thing. Easier said than done. But
there was this thing that my coworker told me, because he's kind of into like the spiritual stuff and esoteric stuff and just the philosopher stuff, and kind of just an all around type of guy. And he was like, you remember when people used to say, get with the program? And I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, I never think, and he didn't even have to say anything more. I was like, holy shit, get with the program. And we call each other NPCs all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a funny thing we do. But yeah, it's funny.
You got to wake
Get
up.
with get with the program. Oh my god.
That's a weird way of putting things.
Yeah.
Sean, I actually pulled one for you, sir. And actually,
I was hoping you would.
so I actually had two cards come out at the same time. And the
Mhm.
way that message came to me, my intuition was just like, all right, this one's for Sean, this one's for me.
Okay.
And
right.
so I was initially looking for just a card for you. So the first card is yours and the second card is mine.
All right. Makes perfect sense.
You got the camel.
Oh.
And it says, let me read this right here off of the camel
Real
card.
quick, before you even go any further, so it's kind of weird that you say that because there's a palm tree that's like in the neighbor's front yard and I can see it from my back door. And for whatever reason, like the way that it's shaped, it looks kind of like a camel. Like for whatever, just the leaf parts. And then the one branch will move and it looks like the camel's like moving its neck and shit. And so that's just weird that comes up.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, the camel is speaking to you in multiple ways, sir.
It's coming through.
It says, trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you.
Mm.
They're there even when you don't think they are.
That's right.
It says, sometimes it feels like you're journeying across a vast, lifeless desert that stretches beyond the horizon with no end in sight. You do live in Arizona.
I do.
So that
I
makes sense.
literally, I've been drinking a shit ton of water too, man. It's been like 110 lately.
Yes. So, going across this seemingly barren landscape before you, you thirst for comfort and solace during these times. During these times can most readily be satisfied by looking to your inner resources. All the experiences that you've had in your lifetime, the challenges that you've successfully faced, and the wealth of knowledge that you've accumulated can be called on to not only cope with the type of adversity that presents itself, but to help you move forward with courage and determination. So first, you identify where you want to go and then proceed slowly, steadily, and deliberately toward that objective. As you move along, cast away your fears, doubts, and hesitations whenever they arise, letting the four winds lift them up to the sun to be burned away. Ease your mind and heart and know that all is well and that you're protected at all times. Call upon those helping spirits who have assisted you up until this point in your journey. You have what it takes and you will get through this.
That's so awesome, dude. That's kind of how I've been feeling lately too. Really, like, you know, at work, all the maintenance guys are kind of showing me around, showing me how the ins and outs of some of the machines, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, and this is because of this, and like, there's so much stuff that I have learned over the years that I just kind of like retain it and just kind of just stays there, and I don't really do anything with it. And so, dude, that's pretty spot on. I love it.
Man,
How is it that it's so good?
it
You
just
know?
be that way. It just be that way. The
All right, what you
card
got?
the card that got pulled for me is the seagull. It says,
Okay.
now is the time for deep emotional healing.
All right,
Oh, man.
we're
All
going
right.
deep, dude.
So it
Let's go.
says, the emotional sea that's hovering just below your consciousness is a well of feelings that needs to be acknowledged and expressed. Expressing emotions doesn't mean indulging in them compulsively or creating drama around them. If there are tears, let them, if there are tears. Tears and tears are spelled the same way, I think, aren't they?
Are they? I think you might be right. Yeah.
That throws me
You
off.
just didn't want to say. You just didn't want it to be tears. I think
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
mean,
was.
tears through,
you gotta.
the matrix.
Sometimes you need them though.
So
know?
if there are tears, let them simply be tears and allow them to flow. Cry or laugh as much as you need to. Explore these feelings by sharing them with someone you trust or write about them in a journal, paying particular attention to the sensations in your body. These sensations are clues to the layers of emotion that are just below the surface of your awareness. By either talking or writing them down, you bring them into your awareness, find relief, and create an opportunity to release them. Don't let this be a theatrical exercise, one where you act or try to force yourself to feel something that you're not. Make sure that you include a good dose of humor from time to time, particularly if you're dealing with darker or scarier emotions. It's not necessary to cleanse the emotional and psychic scars that remain from earlier experiences too frequently, but now is the time to do so. Should you find yourself starting to get lost in the whirlpool of traumatic memory, change the scenery by physically moving or intentionally distracting yourself in some way. It isn't necessary to cure yourself of the feelings associated with these memories all in one setting. Instead, simply relieve some of the pressure that lurks below the surface, like a seagull.
Solid. What do you
I
think?
needed that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one hit me.
Of course you did. That's why you got it.
Dude,
You know?
this is no shit. This is my favorite Oracle deck. Is the animal one.
Yeah.
And you know where I got this? Was in Lake Havasu.
Oh, right. Oh, perfect.
I know.
It adds even a little more, something more to that, I think.
Yeah, which is where I was
Yeah.
born. Also, where I'm going to be moving to here in like 6 weeks.
Yeah, dude. Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah!
Wow.
So
Yeah, those cards were spot on, man. Like almost too good. I mean, I can't speak for everyone. I mean, Pete said 100, so you know. But I hope that everybody got something out of that. 'Cause I know I did.
yeah, for sure. Actually, you want to do a tarot reading too?
Yeah, sure.
You want to pull one out?
Yeah,
I
you're
got
gonna
one
have
more
to-
thing to read, so you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Take a little time.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, I've been shuffling it like the whole show.
I
and,
noticed.
like nothing's really happening. You know, so
We had to call
I
upon
don't
it.
know. I'm glad we were doing the animal spirits because nothing was coming.
Sometimes you gotta give it the time. You know, sometimes you gotta shuffle those bad boys like 100 times. But so there is one more closing thing that I did want to read here, as far as the animal spirits or whatever, or even human spirits. They never leave. So across continents and centuries, people agree on two things: something continues, and it communicates through dreams, animals, music, numbers, breezes, and sudden knowings. The skill isn't summoning, it's listening with structure. When we blend science's humility with spirit's intimacy, the world becomes what it has always been: alive, responsive, and braided with companions just beyond the visible. The bond you share was never broken. It simply changed form. What once walked beside you in fur, feather, or scale now moves like wind through the trees, light on the water, warmth in your heart when the world feels cold. In the eyes of spirit, there is no distance, no goodbye. Only a weaving of souls that time and death cannot touch. If you can quiet your mind and open your heart, you will feel them, always just a breath away. And in that moment, you'll remember, the magic was never gone. It's been here all along, waiting for you to see.
Solid.
Let's go, dude.
I love this shit, dude.
Yeah, it's the best. Solid stuff. Damn, you still ain't getting one
I
popping out,
can't,
huh?
dude. It's not coming. You know what? I'm just gonna pull the top card.
There it is.
Boom.
That's actually what I did for the animal ones, because
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta shuffle them, and everybody does it their own way. Usually just whatever your intuition is like guiding you to do. So
Mhm.
don't even question
Well,
it. You feel pulled
that being said,
pull
dude,
the first one. What is that?
Yeah, the Hermit.
Oh,
Just a little interesting.
one of my favorite cards.
Yes,
The
I think we just got it recently too.
I think we did. Yeah. So the Hermit card.
Talking about not dimming your light, Pete. We got the Hermit holding his lantern outward. You know,
the
trying to light
Hermit.
the way.
The hermit is wise, and he knows the difference between being alone and being lonely. His solitude is the companion to his bright mind. There is wisdom to be gained through solitude. This is the lesson that the hermit card imparts. On it, an old man walks alone, carrying a tall staff and a lantern to light his way. The lantern illuminates only what's in front of him, but points him toward the truth. His advanced age signals deep wisdom, while the staff suggests power. His power is in the ability to look within, rely on himself, and exercise tremendous patience. So it says his lantern illuminates only on what's in front of him. How about I'm wearing that Illuminati shirt right now? So the spiritual message behind it says, you're deep in the process of soul searching and seeking your own inner truth. Allow yourself as much time alone as you need to look within, perhaps through meditation or taking long walks to tap into your divine inner wisdom. Interesting. So in the Hermit is the 9th card and in the full, or the 9th spirit, I guess, in the Fool's Journey. Which means nearing completion. 9 is always almost the end, because 10 is the wrap.
Okay, right.
All right.
So
Well,
it's the 9th card of the major arcana.
Of the major
Right.
arcana, yeah.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, because the Fool is the 0 card, and then the Magician is the
Yep.
1, and so on.
Yep.
All All right. Well, this was fun, dude. I really enjoyed
was.
this one.
It was.
You know, and I feel like we've been getting a little serious lately, so it's nice to interject like these fun ones that are,
Mhm.
you know, entertain your mind a little bit, open you up, and like, you know, just to make you wonder what if.
Mhm. And see, and I don't even think it's in the what if at this point. At least for me, whenever I say something, I feel like it's just how my mind is processing it. And when it comes to this whole thing, man, as far as even with humans, I mean, we've experienced this. We've had those moments where we were, at least seemingly, we felt like we were on some sort of wave. You know what I mean? Together, and your thoughts were also my thoughts, and it was like almost like we were sharing them.
Yeah,
You know, and it was like, whose thoughts are they? I don't know, you know, but yeah,
it's the one's thoughts. It's God's
That's it.
thoughts. Call it whatever you want,
we're just the observers at this point.
dude. That's all we ever were.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up and get over to the meditation, and then afterward we are going to talk about said meditation. We're going to be getting into a guided animal spirit guide meditation,
It's
which
a fun one.
so much fun. Those are the best. So if you want to be a part of that meditation, you can join us live every Wednesday night for the Wonder Wednesday shows, or you can come over to any of the other regular tiers on Patreon, which will allow you to go back and listen to it and be with us in that time. Time is an illusion anyway. So whether
That's
you're
right.
listening to it now with us or next year, you'll be with us in that moment that we were there. So that's the magic of it. But
how that
yeah,
works.
if you want to be able to support us, that would be the best way is to go over to patreon.com/metamysteries. That link is down in the show notes below. Over there, you get the shows a few days in advance. It's completely commercial free. You'll be able to slide into our DMs and you'll be able to see all of the video content without commercials or having to wait. If you're not interested in going over to Patreon, we have many of other ways to be able to watch or listen to the show. So if you're listening on the Cult of Conspiracy podcast, we are also on the Meta Mysteries podcast. So the Meta Mysteries shows on that come up on the Cult of Conspiracy come out every Monday and Friday, but on the Meta Mysteries platform, you can listen to them every Sunday and Thursday. So just one day sooner, and the same thing goes for YouTube. You'll also be able to see them on Mondays and Fridays over there. Patreon would be the best way to be able to get them literally the night or the next day as soon as we're done shooting them. So if you're interested in that, or you just want to be able to support the show, you like what the information that we provide, maybe you feel a little bit entertained, whatever it is, we would appreciate that support in any kind of way. If you're listening on Patreon, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, it would help us out a lot if you were to give us a review, give us 5 stars. You can comment on each episode on Spotify. That all helps the algorithm push it out into the rest of the world. So that we can get more ears and more eyes on the show and to this information. If you find that a lot of this information is mystery school-esque, or you feel like you're being initiated, imagine how everybody else would feel. You know?
That's right, dude. That's right, man.
So-
And as always, just thank you guys for listening and following along with us on our journey as we try to help guide you on yours. You know, I don't even think we're guiding anybody. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
We're
It's just an
walking with
experience,
everybody.
man.
That's it.
That's
It's a shared
Yeah.
experience. And
That's right.
we always say that we're not the teachers. We are students just presenting the information that we have found in hopes that one day we become teachers. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's ideally the goal, is that, you know, we do so many shows and we talk about so many different things and become so deeply entrenched in what we have learned that it just stays stuck up in the mind so that we don't even need any any kind of websites or any kind of whatever to show us what it is, because we'll just know and we'll be out there teaching.
Oh shit. That's gnosis, I think.
A little bit of
You know?
gnosis.
I think you'd be great at that, actually. You know?
I think you would too.
I think you'd be a great teacher.
I think Cassandra said that you were going to be a shaman, sir.
I know. I gotta get on it, man. I'm slacking, I think. You know?
I think maybe we'll try and get Cassandra on next week.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yes. I think we need to.
It's about that time.
Yeah, it is. Let's do it.
So anyhow, and also we have a bunch of different guests that are on the docket. They're going to be coming up. We're going to be getting Cassandra on the show. We'll be getting Nigel Perryman on the show. We're going to be getting Micah Dank on the show, which is really great with, if you love the astrotheology stuff,
Mhm.
fascinating stuff,
Yes.
and many, many more guests that are going to be coming as well. So, yeah, that's just what to be looking forward to. We had this episode that was requested by a listener. We like to listen. You know,
Yes.
so if
That's
somebody is interested in a particular thing, then reach out to us. We will try and get to it as fast as possible. And you can reach out to us on Instagram, on Patreon. Patreon, you're a lot more likely to get a response back in a faster time. Instagram, the messages are flooded, so I can only get to them whenever I got time for that. But Patreon, we push everybody on Patreon up to the absolute top. So yeah. With that being said, and also I did want to say this too. I'm going to be moving to Arizona here in about 6 weeks. I'm going to have a lot more time open. So if anybody wants to reach out and schedule a past life regression, reach on out and we can try and make that happen. I have a deal to where if you allow the regression to be posted on the podcast as an episode, then it'll be $50 cheaper. So
Hey, there you go. That's a good deal.
but if you feel that it's too personal, totally understand. It'll just be the regular price. So
Sounds good, man.
yeah. So,
I like
yeah, reach out and, I'm not going to be moving for another 6 weeks, so I can't really schedule anything until then. My life is going to be crazy and chaotic up until that point. But once I'm settled in, I'm going to have so much damn time. I'm not going to know what to do with myself. So I would like to stay busy and I would like to help anybody in that way. So, just reach out to us, and Patreon would be the best place to reach out to us on there for that. We also have an email. I think it's metamysteries111@gmail.com.
That's it.
So if you want to reach out to us and schedule that, we can try and do that too. So anyway, I think we're going to get over to the meditation. Sean, any parting words for you, sir?
No, dude, it was a great episode, man. Like you said, I feel like we did need just a more lighthearted one and just to pique the curiosity, and just open up the mind, man. It was a great one.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, look, if your pet animal spirit guides came here and they taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
Stay weird.
Open doors inside your mind. Leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align. In the meta mysteries you'll find.
That was
solid.
probably my favorite part of this episode.
I'm glad we went with the 15-minute one.
It didn't even feel like 15 minutes.
No, that was great, dude.
That one scooted on by, dude.
What did you see, my dude?
Like what animal did I see?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I saw a wolf.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. Because it's so strange how the mind just works and just takes you in places like that. So initially, I saw, it was like a wood bridge, and because I think he was saying like to see a bridge, and then you're gonna walk across it, then you're gonna see like the mist or whatever, right? And as I was walking across the wood bridge, it was like summertime. And then as soon as I get into like across the bridge, I see the mist, and all of a sudden I'm in like a wintry frozen tundra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it's like, all right, well, you're sitting there and you're waiting for your animal to come walking to you, and you're also approaching it. And then all I saw, bro, was just like, and it was like fucking like a big wolf.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of those Game of Thrones wolves.
One of those. I was gonna say one of those Twilight wolves.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it was pretty cool too, because I just felt like, dude, I was just like, we were just checking each other out, just staring at each other in the eyes, not making any sudden movements. Nobody's really going to move any closer once we get to like, we had like, I don't know, 15 yards in between us. And we're just like feeling each other out, like intuitively, and I'm like looking into his soul and he's looking into my soul. And after a while, he's like, all right, I can just see him like bow his head, and he's like, all right, come over here. And so then I just like go and start petting him and give him a big hug and everything. And, but then it was really strange. So he was like this gray wolf, like all gray and black and white, right? Like a traditional wolf. And then it's going to sound weird. I think there was another wolf that came, and it was like a red and brown looking wolf. And I'm pretty sure that was like a female wolf, right?
Right. Okay.
And so it was like both of them were working together. I don't know if they were
Mhm.
together or just part of the same pack or whatever. And
Mhm.
then so they both like, I don't know, caressed me in some kind of way. And then they were like, all right, follow us. And so we went and I just followed them. Like my spirit body followed
Right.
their physical, it's seemingly physical, but seemingly like spiritual at the same time. That I
Mhm.
just followed them into, it wasn't mist or fog or anything anymore. It was just heavy snow. And so you couldn't see very far in front of you. So we just
Mhm.
went in until you couldn't see anything anymore and just followed
That's
them.
cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, remind me as I go into what I experienced. The guy did not specify like day or night, right?
I don't think so.
He just kind of gave us the bridge and the mist, right?
Yeah, I
And
think so.
so as I was approaching or saw the bridge and all that, it was already nighttime. Like it was pretty dark. Really, the only thing the only reason why you could see was just like the moonlight, and it was just kind of dark. And dude, and I'm not even surprised, dude, but I got the wise owl. And
Yeah.
maybe that's because we've already gone into this, and that was in fact the animal that I figured out was my spirit animal, and because when he said like you'll see the animal at the right time, and then it kind of took me back to how I came to find that the owl was my spirit animal, because I was like, I don't know what my spirit animal is, and all of a sudden, boom, there's an owl,
Hey,
and before we
and
were
speaking
recording,
of,
there it is, right, yeah, dude. So
I'm wearing an owl
yeah, it
t-shirt.
was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because I was thinking like, oh, this thing can just kind of be with me all the time, and then like I can like send it over to like a certain area, like if some shit's going down, like lift the vibe up over there and just send my owl over there, and like just little fun things you can do in your mind, you
Oh,
know,
dude. So
which is
awesome.
really what it's about, man. That's what it's all about. So it was fun though. It was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah. Damn, we have somebody joining very late. So welcome in. But yeah, that was, dude, I love those guided meditation. I think a guided meditation is probably my favorite way to meditate
hmm
because
Oh
it
yeah,
gives you like, a
some
direction to go.
structure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and it just reminds me of like even when we did the meet your dragon meditation.
hmm
Dude, how awesome
Yeah.
was that one? Right?
hmm
And all
Yeah.
the other ones, like, who's your guide or your angel, like
hmm
all the different weird like guided meditations that we've done, those are
hmm
just the most fun because
Mhm,
you're not like you're listening. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like the goal of a guided meditation is to sit and listen and erase whatever is going on in your mind and just pay
right.
attention to the person that's speaking. And so
Mhm,
it's like it's nice to just surrender to that in that
mhm.
moment.
Yeah, just given to the suggestion. There's a lot of power in suggestion, and like you said, like instead of listening to your own thoughts or listening to, your mind goes astray and you start to think, oh, I'm not doing the meditation right, or I'm having too many thoughts. You're really just listening, and so in that way, you have somewhat of a some structure to it, and you're just being suggested through an experience, and
Oh
so
man. And it's
yeah,
so
there was something
vivid.
else I thought about, and I just can't remember now. And I was like, "Oh, hopefully I can remember that later." And of course not.
Oh,
Of
you
course
know
not.
what? I thought the same thing too, and now I can't remember
Yeah.
mine.
Well, we'll never know now.
We'll just
We'll
know
never know.
intuitively.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's in the
Um,
subconscious. It's locked in.
it's in there, dude. It ain't going nowhere. But yeah, that was awesome, dude. I would really like to start doing more of those to where, the guided meditations. I just feel like they're so personal, you
It'd
know?
be really cool, and it would be really cool if you would just record a couple for us, and then you could just play it for us. And I mean, maybe that would be weird for you to listen to your own voice in a guided meditation, but maybe not. Maybe it would be even better,
Well, I
because
did
it's
I
like
did
literally
do a guided meditation.
you
And it's
have.
up on YouTube. Yeah, it got like 400 views or something like that right
Oh,
now.
okay. All right.
But yeah, I thought I was going to be a lot better at that than it came out. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, like
Eh.
that guy, if you listen to the tone in his voice, holy shit, that was like the
Oh,
best
yeah.
man voice that we've heard in a meditation.
He got me. He got me. At
Got it.
one point, like I saw like some flickering going on. I was like, "Whoa!" I was getting deep, dude. My hand started to like twitch. Every time you get the finger twitches,
Oh
you
yeah.
know that your body's like, "Hey, you sleep or what? What's going on here?" You know?
Yeah. And it was cool in the beginning where he's like, take a deep breath in and breathe out through your fingertips. I'm like, oh my God, that is crazy.
It wouldn't be the first time I've breathed through my fingertips, but it was probably the best. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that was a deep one.
At this
I
point in our
loved
journey.
So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it on up right there. Hopefully everybody else had a positive experience. And look out for what's to come next week. I do want to say for those that are listening right now that we are going to have to, just with time constraints and everything else, so after this episode is going to have to be a throwback episode. We don't necessarily like to do that, but time doesn't necessarily allot a lot of time. So sometimes it just be like that. So I think we're gonna pull a throwback out, and I was thinking maybe we pull out old Ronnie Pontiac.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. I would even listen to that one back.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because I feel like, especially at the time that we recorded that, I don't think I was on the level. Not that I'm on the level now, but at least maybe I'm closer now. And so I think I would get something out of that.
Yeah.
You know?
So that one will be coming out. I don't even know. I'm lost on days now. That'll be coming out Monday. Yeah.
All right.
Sunday and Monday.
Cool.
So that'll be coming out. This one I think is going to be coming out Thursday and Friday. So, yeah. Let us know what you think. Leave a review, all the fun things. We appreciate everybody. Give us a follow on TikTok and Instagram and all those things too. We're starting to build up a TikTok. We're almost to 1,000 followers.
Really? That doesn't even make sense to me. I'm glad. It makes me happy, but yeah, man.
It's getting there. So,
Bullshit.
so yeah, until next time, we will see y'all on the flip side.
Bye, guys.
Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound. Journey where no